The WNBA Players Union just approved a strike vote with 98% support, and the timing is terrible. Caitlin Clark is publicly asking everyone to work together and keep the league's momentum going, but some veteran players are attacking new fans and treating growth like a problem. I'm done staying quiet.
WNBPA has got full power on calling a strike. Authorization from the WNBA players. WNBPA statement regarding strike authorization vote. They had a vote, all right? The players had a vote, and they said basically that the WNBPA can literally call a strike whenever they feel it's necessary.
What's happening in women's basketball right now isn't just drama, it's self-sabotage. Let me show you who's destroying this opportunity while pretending to save it. Picture this: December 2025, the WNBA just finished its biggest season ever. Record viewership, packed arenas, massive corporate investment. Team USA training camp just ended with great energy. Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, Angel Reese, all playing together, looking fantastic. The future looked bright. Then Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe dropped a podcast clip that went viral. Not for being insightful, but because they spent the whole segment talking down to millions of new fans who basically saved their league. Here's what happened. Sue Bird, Megan Rapinoe, and guest Katie Nolan recorded a podcast. They discussed WNBA growing pains. Fine, valid topic. But then they clipped the most inflammatory part and posted it on Twitter to promote their show. This wasn't out of context, this was their intended message. They wanted this to go viral.
I don't know why we're still bringing up a toxic fan base. I thought it was so condescending to say that so many fans are just latching on to Caitlin Clark for reasons other than the basketball. And that is something that we just continue to see. And it was also crazy because Katie Nolan at the end of this whole bit, she was like, yeah, I don't really watch that many games, but I'm keeping tabs on it. And it's like, that's the reason you had the take that you did. The reason that you had the take that you did is because you're not watching the games. You're not watching what's going on. You're not going to the games. And you clearly said that. You said, I'm a casual fan. I don't really watch the games, but I keep tabs on what's going on.
What was their take? That new WNBA fans are only following Caitlin Clark for reasons unrelated to basketball, that these fans are toxic, that they're calling every previous player trash. And the kicker, Katie Nolan admits she doesn't even watch the games. She's a self-proclaimed casual who just follows updates.
So to single out, once again, like I said, in 2025, to target a group of fans felt like was very condescending. There was another point in the podcast where Sue Bird said that all of these new fans that came here, they immediately said that all of the players who came before Caitlin were trash. And that's just not true.
Let that sink in. Someone who doesn't watch women's basketball is criticizing people who wake up at 2 a.m. in Germany to watch Indiana Fever games, calling them fake fans. Someone who can't name half the rosters is lecturing people who drove attendance up 300% about watching wrong.
I also feel so bad for Caitlin Clark because she's gotten to the level of popularity where people have just dehumanized her.
The audacity is shocking, and it gets worse. The WNBA Players Association just gave their leadership full authority to call a strike anytime. 93% of players voted, 98% said yes. Only 2% opposed. I'd bet Caitlin Clark was in that 2%. Why? Because she's the only one publicly saying what everyone should think: we must play next season. We must keep this momentum. Both sides need to compromise and be heard. That's how deals work. Nobody gets everything, but you get enough to move forward. But that's too reasonable for some. Instead, we're giving strike power to a union that acts messy online. The WNBPA social media has been divisive and petty for months. Now they have the nuclear option to shut down an entire season whenever they feel disrespected. Understand what that means? Right when the league finally has mainstream attention, when casual fans are tuning in, when corporate money is flowing, the players just handed someone the power to destroy it all. For what? Better contracts? Fair. Better travel? Absolutely. Better marketing? Overdue. But you know what kills all that? No season, no games, no viewers, no revenue, no future. Here's the uncomfortable truth WNBA media won't say: the people complaining loudest about new fans are the same ones who weren't watching before. The same analysts screaming about Caitlin Clark taking too much airtime don't cover anyone else when she's not in the headline. The same podcasters acting like gatekeepers can't commit to watching full games. L. Duncan said the Caitlin Clark fanbase sucks the life out of the WNBA, that before newcomers arrived, they had more topics to discuss. My response is simple: so discuss them. Nobody's stopping you. Want to talk about A'ja Wilson's MVP season? Do it. Want to highlight Breanna Stewart's dominance? Go ahead. Want to celebrate Sabrina Ionescu? The stage is yours. But here's the problem, those segments don't get views. Those posts don't go viral. These media personalities know it. So they do the only thing that works, they talk about Caitlin Clark. And when it works too well, they blame her fans. It's backwards logic. You built your platform on her name, got your clicks from her highlights, and now you're mad it worked. Let me give an example. An article about A'ja Wilson came out. Beautiful piece, well deserved. Buried in it was a random shot at Caitlin Clark from the same reporter who praised Caitlin the year before. Why? What did it add? How did trashing one player enhance another's story? It didn't. But it got engagement, sparked debate, drove clicks. That's the game now. Caitlin Clark has been reduced to just content. Not a person, not a 23-year-old dealing with stalkers, injuries, and massive pressure. Just a name you throw into articles to boost metrics. She handles it with more grace than anyone should have to. She shows up, competes, fights through everything. And her thanks is another podcast questioning her fans' motives. Here's where it gets messy. The Indiana Fever released their 2026 calendar, and Caitlin Clark isn't on it. Not featured, not mentioned, just absent. Fans are upset asking why the biggest star isn't on the team calendar. To be fair, I don't think this was intentional disrespect. Probably an image rights issue. Her team likely didn't sign off. Maybe she didn't want involvement, maybe there's a marketing conflict. But the fact people immediately assume it's shade tells you everything about the current discourse. Fans are so used to seeing Caitlin disrespected that even a calendar becomes suspicious. That's not healthy, not normal, not sustainable. Here's what happens next. The strike authorization sits there like a loaded gun. Negotiations drag on, tensions rise. Eventually, someone on that executive committee decides they've had enough and calls the strike. The season gets delayed or cancelled, and all that momentum just evaporates. Casual fans who are getting into women's basketball, gone. Corporate sponsors who are finally taking the league seriously, they'll pull their money instantly. Media coverage that was finally mainstream, back to niche outlets. Everything resets to 2023 levels, maybe worse. The saddest part, the players who wanted to play will suffer most. The ones who saw this as their chance, the rookies about to have their moment, the role players who finally had an audience, all collateral damage because some veterans couldn't let go of grievances long enough to capitalize on success. Let me be clear, player empowerment is important. Fair contracts matter. Better working conditions are essential. I'm not anti-union, not anti-player. But I am anti-stupidity. Giving strike authorization right now, in this moment, with this momentum, is stupid. You know what else is stupid? Spending more energy trashing your own fans than building them up. Making podcast clips designed to go viral by attacking people who buy tickets. Writing articles that insult the player who sold out your arenas. It's all backwards. The worst part is everyone knows it. Even those doing it know it's wrong. But they do it anyway because rage drives engagement, controversy gets clicks, and tearing someone down is easier than building something up. Here's my challenge to WNBA media, to analysts, podcasters, and reporters who claim to love this game: prove it. Show me you can get views talking basketball without mentioning Caitlin Clark every 5 seconds. Show me you can build up other players without tearing anyone down. Show me you actually watch the games you're defending, because right now I don't believe you. I think you're tourists in your own league, using women's basketball as a vehicle for hot takes and social commentary.